Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to the Google for Mobile Conference. My name is John Lee, and I'm the Country Director of Google Korea. 안녕하십니까? We're all here today because we want to learn how to success and be very successful in the midst of a mobile revolution, a revolution that is opening up so many new and exciting possibilities. It's really amazing when we think about how much technology and smartphones are impacting our everyday lives, and it's even more incredible when we realize how fast technology is changing. As for me, I was first exposed to technology as well as connectivity at a very young age. I was in Mankato, Minnesota, where I was raised in the United States, and my parents saved up money for months to buy me a personal computer called the Apple II, a computer which is credited as revolutionizing personal computing. It was a primitive computer by today's standard, but to me, it was transformational because I could play games and I could even connect to other users because we had a university intranet which allowed me to use a modem in order to connect to other people. You see, back then, we didn't have the World Wide Web. We didn't have smartphones, and so I had to use this primitive device called the modem, which would modulate and demodulate phone carrier signals in order to digitize and encode information and eventually translate it to my home personal computer. This device, although you may laugh at it, only had 64 kilobytes of memory. This compares to today's smartphones, which have gigabytes or even megabytes of memory. But it did all that I needed. The only problem was back then, this device costed over $2,000, even back in the 1980s. So it was an extremely expensive device. And so it wasn't a device for the many, it was a device for the few, or those like me who wanted to make their parents go into big debt. So actually, if you fast forward to today, we see that as a result of Moore's Law, which predicted that the number of transistors that you could fit onto a circuit board would double every 2 or 3 years, we see that today's smartphones are much faster, and they're much cheaper, they're much smaller, and more than 100 times more powerful than even PCs of the past. And that's really incredible because we all have in our hand more computing power than NASA had to send somebody to the moon. That's how much power everybody has. And it's not just everybody in this room, it's over 2 billion mobile phone subscribers around the world which have the equivalent of this type of supercomputer technology in the palm of their hand, and it's having really profound implications on society, and certainly that's why many of us have gathered here today. So clearly, the mobile trend that we see is perhaps one of the most amazing trends. Mobile is the fastest adopted technology that we've ever seen in history, and it's really affecting us every single day because each of us touch our mobile phone more than 150 times in a given day. And that's a lot of times touching your phone. But certainly, what's most exciting is that here in Korea, we have probably the most intense mobile revolution happening compared to any other country in the world. Because 5 years ago, smartphones didn't even exist. And now, Korea is one of the countries with perhaps the highest smartphone penetration in the world. And if you think about the amount of time that people spend on apps, it's more than 13 hours per week. 13 hours per week, it's almost a part-time job. That compares to 6 hours per week in the US. And if you think about our platform, such as Play, Korea is one of the largest markets in the world. And that shows you how big mobile is in Korea. So even though we all know about this sensational revolution, the fact of the matter is it is not easy to succeed on mobile. Because the first thing you need to know is you need to know how to get your apps discovered among more than 1 million apps on the Play Store. So how do you do that? The second thing that's really important is you need to engage users. And so even if your app is downloaded by one of your users, 90% probability that this app is going to be discarded within 1 month. And finally, you need to create an amazing user experience on a screen size that is not much bigger than the palm of your hand. So there's lots of challenges, but these challenges are not insurmountable. And really, we're all here today gathered because we'd like to think about how we can solve these problems. Because our role here in Google is to work with app developers such as all of you, throughout the entire app development journey. A journey we break out into 3 different phases, the first of which is develop, the second of which is earn, and the third of which is engage. So let's think about each of those 3 components today. If you think about developing your app, we want to understand how do you optimize your app development process, especially for the Android platform. So that's really, really important. So we're going to have experts from our developer relations team, our cloud team, as well as our play team in order to help us develop great apps. Secondly, how do you engage users? We're going to have specialists from our advertising team show us how to ensure that we can acquire the maximum amount of users and keep them engaged. And finally, if not most importantly, we're going to show you how to make some money, because earning money is not only important for your employees, it's important to invest in the future. And so our AdMob team, as well as our Play team, are going to show you how to maximize the amount of money you can earn from your app. So there's a lot of stuff to cover today. We're really excited about this mobile conference. It is perhaps the biggest conference that we have ever held on mobile in Korea. So certainly we've put a lot of time into preparing over 20 sessions for you to learn from. So we really want you to succeed in this mobile environment, because your success is positively impacting millions of consumers, not just in Korea, but around the world. Your success is good for the ecosystem, and certainly your success is a huge part of our success here at Google. So we hope you enjoy this event. We really, really appreciate your partnership with us, and most importantly, we appreciate all the support you've provided to Google. Thank you so much. 고맙습니다.